Hello and welcome. So today I'm going to be talking about Zephyr. And for me, Zephyr is probably by and large the most underrated Warframe in this game, and I don't even really think it's all that close. She is absolutely crazy. She's very versatile. She can fit basically anywhere. She can be accessed really early on in the game just by joining a clan and going into the dojo, going into the Tenno labs, and then just buying all of her parts. Like, the accessibility of this Warframe is bonkers. So, because of that, I'm going to go over her abilities just really briefly. I won't go into, like, too much detail about them necessarily, but I will go over them just a little bit. And I also have a new player build, just something to get the ball rolling so new players can use Zephyr. And then I'm also going to have a couple of in-game builds as well to just kind of talk a little bit more about just how absurdly ludicrous this Warframe is. Like, she is nuts incarnate, and no one uses her. So hopefully we can fix that. So, for starters here, we're just going to go over the Archon shards. These are all to taste. You do not have to have any of these whatsoever. Mine are just the standard ones, the Equilibrium shard, max energy on spawn, duration. Zephyr loves duration and range, and then a little bit of casting speed. These can literally be whatever you want them to be. It's not a big ask to, have anything in here or to not have anything in here. So if you don't have anything, don't worry about it. Her passive is really, really awesome. You just have to, like, when you're, in the air and you shoot gun, your gun gains more crit rate. Pretty easy. It's just, like, flat stacking crit rate, so it's just, like, an added to whatever crit rate mods that you have on your weapon. So it's not like a multiplicative thing, it just adds. Tailwind, this just allows Zephyr to fly. This is her movement ability. There's some fun little builds where you can, like, dive bomb onto people and do a bunch of damage. My builds aren't that, but I have seen them and they are kind of funny. Air Burst, this is her second ability. This is her grouping tool. With all of the range that you have on her, this can actually group enemies up pretty far and wide, so this is actually fairly useful. This also has a pretty decent augment as well to just add a bunch of secondary weapon damage. Again, augment I'm not using, but something that you can consider if you want to. Turbulence. So this is where all the range that you want on Zephyr basically comes from. So this just puts up a wall of air and bullets cannot get through it. Regular AoE status effects can, and like melee attacks and things like that do, but if they're trying to shoot you, as what you're kind of seeing in that little video there, it's just not gonna work. So yeah, it makes Zephyr really, really tanky and really, really hard to kill. And tornadoes. These spawn just a bunch of tornadoes. It suspends the enemies, and then when you shoot the tornadoes, your damage and status effects apply to every enemy in the tornado. It doesn't matter what your power strength value is, that damage gets applied to the tornadoes. This weapon is just a room clearer. This is an amazing ability, and is something that you will likely be spamming throughout just using Zephyr. So going into the just new player build here just really quick, we've got Dreamer's Bond, Great Aura Mod, Streamline, and Flow, just the junction rewards here, the normal offenders, a bunch of energy with Flow. Streamline gives you efficiency. Casting more abilities is always great. Duration, she loves duration with continuity. And then you want range with stretch. And then if you're a newer player and you have Zephyr, I'm going to imagine that, you have to get her through being in a clan and a dojo, so I'm going to assume that you have access to getting the dragon keys and access to, getting the corrupt mods like what Overextended is. So you should hopefully have this. If you don't, I would highly, highly recommend you get with some of your clan mates and just kind of just get some squads together and go into the I'm in the wrong gear. I just H'd myself. Go into Deimos, excuse me, and just run some of those missions and have those dragon keys on you. And that's about it for the new player just build setup. Just something to just kind of, get the blood flowing and have some fun with Zephyr. Go ahead, try it out, use it. I guarantee you'll have a great time. Alright, so we're going to be getting into the in-game build kind of setups, like the whole investments here and whatnot. So, starting with the aura mod, corrosive projection, less armor, more damage, always good. Prime sheer-footed, good for not being knocked down. She doesn't get knocked down a whole lot for me personally, but there are like the big Eximus like fuck off like AoE things that they do. So this kind of prevents that, so I just kind of like having this for those. Blind Rage is really useful here because of the subsume that I have for Zada's Whisper. The Zada's Whisper can be, it doesn't have to just be this. This could be, if you're wanting to run like a melee Zephyr, this could be Wrathful Advance. If you're looking to run like Roar, this could be Roar. This could be Nourish. This could be Thermal Sunder, and you could run the augment for that and gain more damage that way. There's so many things that you can do with Zephyr, and like none of them are really wrong. So long as you give her duration and range, you basically can't really go that wrong. So continuing on with the mods that I chose here, Energy Nexus, just getting more energy. Prime Flow to hold a bunch of energy so that we can just cast abilities. Augur Reach and Stretch to go with the Overextended here to just get a bunch of range. And the Umbral Intensified to get more power strength to help bolster the Zada's Whisper damage. Arcane Concentration is from the old peace update that we got, and Zephyr loves this because Zephyr loves duration. So it's just basically free 60% ability strength. She loves to have it. Arcane Energize is just here just because, dude, this can really be any arcane slot you want it to be. If you're going to primarily be using secondaries, you can use like the secondary or the arcane precision, I think it is for secondaries. You can use like arcane strike to speed up your melee weapons or things like that if you're choosing to run a melee build. This arcane slot is completely flexible, and it doesn't have to be energized. I just kind of have it here as a free slot, so feel free to customize this to whatever you want. The Energy Nexus here is also kind of customizable as well if you leave in the Arcane Energize. So this can be like an augment or whatever that you want it to be. There is a decent little amount of wiggle room in here to, make the build your own. This is called Uni because this is just kind of what I universally use on Zephyr, just to like chill and have a, just a good time. I've got Terrify on here. I've got the Creeping Terrify augment, so on top of being armor stripped and scared, now they're slow. So yeah, they're really not having a good time. And then I've added in like quick thinking along with the Rolling Guard here. Well, Rolling Guard was in the other build, but that's for just rolling off your status effects. But this just makes it super, super comfy because of all the energy that you have. You don't have to really be paying attention. You can just kind of play the game and, watch a movie or chat or, do something in the background while you're playing the game. This is just like a comfy build, something that you can just use and have on Zephyr to just play and do, again, whatever you want. It's like there's a theme or something here with this Warframe. That strong frames, you can just do whatever, and they're just really good. And then the last one, this is, I think, like the normal kind of like standard build that most people are going for with Zephyr, just having silence and then a bunch of range so that she can just turn off, like, hell, she can turn off Violence's abilities with silence, and then she just makes quick work of just regular enemies and whatnot, having a bunch of duration, bunch of range, normal efficiency. Just, yeah, I think this is basically like the standard Zephyr build, but these two are the ones that I gravitate towards a little more. But when we were farming for Jade or whatnot when she came out, this was the build that I was running with Zephyr just to make quick work of the Sisters of Parvos and whatnot. Just turn off their abilities and then start blasting them. But yeah, these are the builds. I think I'm going to show off the Zada's Whisper one. I'm very tempted to show off my just the one that I normally use here, just for like my universal one, if you will. But this one's for when I'm feeling rather lazy or I want to watch something or multitask. So I'm gonna be showing off the Zada one when I get to the little 5-minute survival. With newer players also watching this, the Nataruk is really good for shooting into or just, kind of like pelting the tornadoes with to just proc a lot of damage. This is a newer player build that I just kind of made to like aim for, because this is, the Nataruk is a quest reward from the new war, and this weapon is very, very strong. I still use this weapon. I really enjoy using this weapon a lot. So here's just a quick little build that if you're got the Nataruk and you've just come out of the new war, you can set something like this up, and this is gonna do numbers. This will do numbers, I promise you. And then for a little bit more of like an in-game kind of setup or whatnot, I've got the Galvanized mods, the Prime Cryo rounds, the Galvanized Aptitude, the normal offenders here. 2 big key points, or I guess maybe 3 key points. You don't really need Vigilante's Fervor on here. I just like having the faster fire rate so I can just charge it up and do the perfect charge shot faster. This is very much to taste. That's just a me thing. If you think that this is too fast or not fast enough, you can get rid of this and add something else, or you can add more fire rate to it. Galvanized Aptitude, if you don't have like a good priming Warframe or something else to prime other enemies, this can very easily just turn into Serration, and then you don't have to worry about any of that. You just get the damage as it, as it stands. And then I'm also running the Longbow Sharp Shot. If you do not have this arcane, you can very easily just, use primary, what is it? Primary Merciless, there it is. You can use Primary Merciless, you can also use Primary Deadhead as well. Deadhead works very, very well. That's what I was using on this before I got Longbow Sharp Shot, and it was very good. So if you don't have the Sharp Shot, I really wouldn't worry about it. Just use Deadhead, just use Merciless. I promise you, you will be more than fine. The secondary doesn't really matter a whole lot, because I mostly just use her for like the primaries. You can also use the Plasmor as well. The Tenet Plasmor is very good for shooting into the tornadoes. But for the Onos here, just a really nice little Incarnon weapon that I've come to like and whatnot, just showing off the evolutions here for anyone curious. And then this is the build that I've got. Nothing really crazy here. I know you see the augment there, or the Riven there. This can just be cold damage. If you're trying to copy my build exactly, this can just be cold damage, so I really wouldn't worry too much about the Riven itself. But I really like the Onos, the charging ability when you're in the Incarnate form, just to charge up, that does damage, then you just burst out a big just mega cannon, and just everything in front of you just kind of ceases to exist. So I'm a big fan of it. It's a lesser used weapon, but I like it. And then the Nami Solo, this weapon is, I'm pretty sure this is still the strongest melee weapon we have. At least to my knowledge, nothing is really contending with this thing. Just showing off the Incarnans that I chose. And then this is the build. This is melee influence. Nothing too shocking here. Nothing too crazy. Ignore the Riven. It's not important. Just use Quickening. I happen to roll melee speed on my Riven, so it's just kind of a free Riven at that rate. But this is what you would run for just to have the melee influence set up on the Nami Solo. It goes together really, really well. So not really shattering expectations or nothing with that, but just thought I'd show it off. I don't think I'll be using the Nami Solo in this in my little 5-minute session here, but thought I'd just show that off. Alright, and we are going to get into this little survival. That is not a survival. This is a survival. Alrighty.
These are worthy foes. Underestimate
Alright,
them
let
at
us
your
go
peril.
forth and conquer. So for concentration,
They have just shut down
you
all
want to cast an
systems.
ability,
I'm
then
sending
cast
life
your other
support
abilities.
capsules your way.
And you know what, let's get some tornadoes going. And yeah, they're gone. Everything's gone. There we go. And this. And yeah, things just don't, just don't live. Like, fun fact. It's a real problem that, Zephyr just kind of has, where if you've got like a decently built weapon, things just tend to, die. Oops, I forgot to show off my Sentinel, but it's just my tax on. I've showed that off a few times. Cast this. This. Yeah, see, they're just kind of like dangling there. Cast this. Cast this. Need to take my own advice and jump when I'm doing this. There we go. That did not work because I can't aim.
I delivered a life support capsule to the area.
Yeah.
Activating it will buy you more time.
Yep, she's jumping, and then that gets you the more crit rate. Then I can use the air burst here just to group them together. Use the tornadoes, and bada bing, bada dead. I am on the wall. Using more of these. And yeah, this is Zephyr. This is a Warframe with an abysmally low play rate for absolutely just no reason.
Life support incoming.
And more tornadoes. There we go. You can see the tornadoes like spreading the damage and everything. Yep, I can just use the Natter for everything, but I'm gonna use these almost here a little bit.
I've delivered another life support capsule.
Oops, I double tapped that. Yeah, trying to get heads up with this thing can be a little interesting, but the incarnate for me is a little worth it. Although Rosada's Whisper makes getting heads up a little easier. There we go. And now this transforms into an arm cannon, and then goodbye. Tornadoes, and arm cannon, and goodbye. Very, very satisfying. There are stronger weapons, of course, but there's just something about this thing I just really like. Yeah, and then as you're charging this up, this also gets the damage from this also spreads from the tornadoes, so that also is nice too. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Oh, well, alright, I guess I got him in the face.
Another life support capsule is now available.
Alright, we're just about done, and man, time flies when you're causing mass genocide. Oops, let's use this. There we go. A little bit of murder.
Extraction is available if you need it.
Alright, oop, I'm going the wrong way. Let's see here. Let's get out of here. Let's see, we were here for 5 minutes. How many kills did I get out of curiosity? Almost 100 kpm a minute. We were almost like 450, so that's not bad for me just kind of dicking around, honestly. Alright, well, I hope you liked the video. I hope you give Zephyr a shot. Seriously, you just saw what she did. Come on now. Treat yourself. Alright. That is all I have. Thanks for watching the video.
So
I got more on the way. Thanks for watching. Later.